Either we're about to be rich or we're about to be mega rich. ETH is currently in an uptrend. Bitcoin's consolidation phase coming to an end. Rate cuts are coming, and let's just say things are about to get big. And as we've been discussing, Bitcoin dominance is on the verge of falling below levels that we haven't seen on this trend line at all in the last 3 years. Meaning, if it just goes a little bit teensy little bit lower, alts are about to do really well. And we have a lot of evidence for that also. Specifically, the entire altcoin market is very, very close, within just a % or two from breaking to new all-time highs for the very first time since November of 2021. ETH has been slowly but finally seemingly switching into an uptrend for the very first time in what feels like 2 or 3 years. In fact, I think it is 2 or 3 years. Bitcoin itself potentially initiating a mega bear trap as well, and also alt season inevitable, in my opinion. We have seen this chart pick up speed over the last few weeks, but as they say, the bust is always bustiest. Things are about to get big. And on Bitcoin's daily chart, over the last 2 days, you see we've actually bottomed right, or we've bounced so far right at the 50-day moving average, right at about 111 or 112,000. Now overhead resistance for Bitcoin right around probably 117, which is right where the 21-day moving average, where we just fell below it on the 29th of July, 30th of July. Now we're kind of in this crunch zone. We're about to enter bone mode in between about 112,000, 117,000. A lot of short-term indicators over the last 24 hours seem to be actually hinting at more upside. And in fact, one of the biggest pieces of news is that it's likely the Fed will cut rates in September. And this is the most important thing, in my opinion. It's the most important for the stock market. It's the most important for your portfolio in general if you want it to go up. It's the most important for crypto specifically. Odds currently are about 89% that we will get a rate cut in September. Rate cuts are coming, very likely, over 80% chance. This is the trigger that I think this market in general has been waiting for. So that's something to look forward to. Just a few weeks away, likely, that we, again, if we do get this rate cut, I think the market is going to finally let loose a little bit. And in fact, Bitcoin's chart, if you look at this 8-year trend line, is right now retesting the top of this trend line, which it has been below. And this could be the beginning of a true parabolic run for Bitcoin. Obviously, a lot of people know this bull market so far has been very underwhelming. Somebody as well just went $86 million long on Bitcoin. What do they know? Maybe they know nothing. Maybe they're just gambling. Maybe they have no idea what they're doing. Or maybe they're a super baby genius and they're about to be the world's first quadrillionaire. Anything is possible. Eric Trump, Donald Trump's son, also saying that only 10% of a Bitcoin will be worth an absolute fortune. Absolutely. It already kind of is, right? I mean, 10% of a Bitcoin is already worth a new, or not a new car, but a car. Soon it'll be worth a house. And then soon it'll be worth 10 houses. In 10 years, Bitcoin will be over $2 million. I absolutely agree with that. I don't see any reason why that won't happen, especially with hyper-Bitcoinization likely coming, especially with just true adoption and the inflection point of this S-curve, which I think is also not even really begun yet. And is Bitcoin dead? Well, Bitcoin has died about 431 times. If you invested $100 each time that Bitcoin quote unquote died, you'd have over $120 million. Pretty crazy, right? There's nothing that anybody that is anti-Bitcoin or anti-crypto that could say that isn't just cope. It's all just denial and regret, really. So the best piece of advice that I could give anyone is that start dollar cost averaging in Bitcoin slowly with what you can afford to lose. And in the next 5 or even less years, but at least give it at least 5 years. But realistically, even in 2 or 3 years, it's going to, in my opinion, be an insanely lucrative and profitable investment. After 12 years, this guy as well, I've heard about this guy for years. He has been trying to reclaim about 8,000 Bitcoin that he lost in 2013, which is just shy of $1 billion, but he has finally ended his search. So, hey, this is a little piece of motivation. If you're feeling like, oh, my $10 or $100 per week that I invest into Bitcoin is nothing, well, at least you didn't have billions of dollars worth in the near future, billions, but at least right now, $1 billion worth that you just lost. So you can always think on the bright side. At least you didn't have $1 billion, and now you don't have $1 billion. You can always make money. And I guess you can always lose it too. But Bitcoin is bouncing exactly off the support of this consolidation phase. According to Crypto Goose, will it really be this simple again? Hey, it's possible. Usually things are that simple in this market. It just takes patience. And Bitcoin is also ready for a huge bull run. How many percents are we going up here? In my opinion, likely a lot. And this person, Crypto Caesar on X, says that he thinks we're going to be ranging between the blue and red levels, which is kind of those two moving averages I mentioned earlier in the video. Ranging for a little bit. However, yes, we have clearly been ranging for basically the entire month of July. We were ranging right here at about 120K and slightly below it. If we look at a longer term chart of Bitcoin, like say this weekly chart, I personally think we could still see a move up, honestly, sooner than later, because we have been trading sideways and Bitcoin just looks like it's a very good at a very good level. But as we talked about in the last video, that we might get a dump. We did get a dump. And one of the levels we talked about, if we got a very big flash crash, was down to about 102, or even right at that big level of 100,000 per Bitcoin. So neither of those are off the table right now. Long term, it doesn't matter at all. The biggest thing is what the stocks are going to do, what they're doing. Bitcoin's likely to follow. I mean, also the M2 money supply has been shooting straight up, which is this green right here. Likely, I think Bitcoin is shooting straight up over the next 2 to 3 weeks. But, you know, maybe we need a pullback first. Maybe the pullback's already over. We did get a little bit of a pullback over the last, as you can see here. We did get a pullback in the last week. Bouncing on the 21 or on the 50-day moving average so far has been good. But really, it's getting back above 118 or 117 now, which is exactly where the 21-day is. Other than that, this is like a limbo period, in my opinion. This is neither bullish nor bearish if we're just trading in this range. Anywhere between about 110 to 118,000 is pretty sideways, in my opinion. And a break to the downside would mean, or anything below 112 or 110 would mean a bigger pullback, in my opinion. Anything above getting back above 117, I think we can ideally be bullish again in the very, very short term and long in the very, very short term. But Bitcoin dominance as well, right on the edge, could go either way. Altcoins, everything looks primed to go up, but it all depends really on just this daily chart. What happens between these two moving averages? Not super complicated, keep it really simple. Things could be big, but they could also be bigger than you could ever imagine. And also get signed up with Femex or BITUNIX or BYBIT below if you want to buy Bitcoin, altcoins, or trade. Without any further ado,